everybody, it's me, Blame Girl. Welcome to the Blame Tube, and it's the Blame Down again. Who am I blaming tonight? Well, let's get started talking about none other than the Trayvon Martin case, which has exploded over the internet over the past couple of days. So, Trayvon Martin, if you don't remember, I spoke about him on the last Blame Down. This may be your first Blame Down, so let me give you a quick run through. 17-year-old in Florida, walking home from the store after buying his little brother some Skittles, and he's attacked and assaulted and shot to death by the neighborhood watchman. The neighborhood watchman, however, was not arrested. He was let go because in Florida they like to put property owner rights over life. And basically, if you are, you know, taking someone's property and you robbing someone, something from their house, you leave, and you're leaving, they can shoot you in the back, and they have every right to. Or if you're in an area where you don't belong necessarily and they belong, they can still shoot you if you assault them. So the fuzzy math in this case, however, comes because there's all these different 911 calls that were released this week. And you have Mr. Zimmerman's call to the police because he called the police before he attacked this little boy. And he says, there's a suspicious male walking around and he's black, and, what should I do? And they're like, don't do anything. Basically, stay in your car. And he's like, they're always getting away with it. And he gets out of his car. So you hear another 911 call from another person who called from inside their house that heard the altercation. And it just sounds like you hear someone, them tussling, someone scream, and then someone shot. Then the boy, Trayvon Martin, he was actually on the phone too, and the conversation was unfortunately not recorded, but it was the person he was talking to. The family's attorney has talked to her, and she basically said that she's talking to Trayvon, and Trayvon got scared because someone was following him, put his hoodie on. He says he's going to put on his hoodie, and then, you know, then she hears something. It's like his Bluetooth fell out and it just goes dead, and she doesn't hear anything else. So no one knows why Mr. Zimmerman hasn't, this isn't going further. But this week you have the Florida Attorney General is investigating the case now, so it's going above this police department. That's obviously inadequate, and also the FBI has gotten involved. So hopefully we'll see some justice, and we'll see Mr. Zimmerman in jail and brought to trial fairly soon. I think hopefully by the end of the week. It's Tuesday now, so I imagine he'll be in jail by Friday. Next, the next blame, it's not really a blame, it's just random thought, if you will. And my random thought is that I think conservatives are way too worried about money. They think every money is theirs. They think all our tax dollars that go into a pot collectively and is distributed as needed, they think that that's all their individual money, and I don't get it. You know, also, just any money that, I was arguing about contraceptives today, and how in Arizona they are trying to push a law where employers can deny contraception coverage if they are a certain religion and it violates their religious principles, which, if you do commerce in the United States and you have over, 50 employees and have to provide health care, there's rules you have to follow there. I'm sorry. Corporations don't have religions. So anyway, we were arguing about that, and somehow money came up, and they're like, it's my money. Stay out of my pocket. And then they like to make people that are on unemployment or welfare, food stamps, feel like they're lazy bums, and they're not all lazy bums, and I'm going to need them to stop because it's rude. It's not all your money. I know I paid into taxes the past 17 years of my life, and all of a sudden now it's your money. I didn't know that the money I gave was your money. It's our money. And it's just, I'm sick of the selfish talk from the conservatives. I'm sick of it. So, last blame is an apocalyptic blame. I write these sometimes, but tonight I'm talking to you about it because there's a lot going on, and if you're not paying close attention, you're just not aware. You're not going to be aware. But luckily, you're on my tube, and you get to find out why you should be worried about some sort of apocalypse. Maybe not an apocalypse, but maybe a war could be imminent. Listen up. So you got Syria, who's been terrorizing their citizens for the past year. It was the Arab Spring last year. You know, the springs lasted the whole season and some. So finally, this week, Russia goes in. Russia is kind of an ally to Syria, if I understand world politics correct. And so they go in to get Assad to stop him. So we'll see what comes of that. Dictators usually get a little bit more desperate, so we'll see that, you know, we'll see what we hear from Syria this week. But I bet we'll hear something. But not only the Russians in Syria, there's another country that is very communist, socialist, that is also in the news, and that's North Korea. As you know, we've lost Kim Jong il, and Kim Jong un is the new leader, but they're still up to their old tactics. They were testing some, doing some missile tests, and the United States and some of its allies, Japan, I believe, and somebody else, asked them to stop, and they said no, but they stopped so that they could keep getting food. Like, how do you need food but you're able to test missiles? I don't get it. Um, but as soon as they stop that, they want to launch a satellite into space to commemorate one of their old leaders or something like that, using the same equipment they would use to do missile tests. Is that the best trick up their sleeve? Like, that's the best they could try to hide it. It's almost comical, like a South Park episode. But anyway, that's not all. It's not just Syria and North Korea. I feel like our president's kind of indirectly bullying Iran a little bit this week. I mean, he talked about them today, about how they're denying their people access to the internet and sanctions, and then sanctions on India if they keep doing business with Iran. And, you know, it's like sanctions all around. And he's kind of bullying them. And I don't think they're really doing anything. I mean, they've always not liked Israel. I don't think they have any nuclear weapons. Someone's killed all their scientists off, us or the Mossad. So something's going on though with Obama. He also signed an executive order this week that will allow him access to various resources, and you know they're slowly chipping away at our rights. Him and Congress. It's weird. And then you have, lastly, the FEMA camp that was not FEMA camp. FEMA camps are being open, yes, but FEMA had a rush of like 1 billion um, in food and dehydrated foods imported in case of a terror attack. And you know, with these terror attacks, it's like it's weird how like they almost happen like people are like getting ready for it. Like I know with 9/11 they were doing some type of drill that was similar to the terror attack, and then also in the bombings in London they were doing a drill that was similar to the bombing. So I read about, I don't know how true or accurate this is. I didn't research into it. I'm just bringing it up. But I also read about our military doing some drills this week. So that'll be something to look into. And we'll see on the next Blame Down how accurate I am about Syria, North Korea, and what's going on in the world. Thanks for tuning in. And I hope to see you during the next Blame Down.